Assume silicon has three major isotopes in nature as shown in the table below. Fill in the missing information. First thing I'm going to do is get that spot right there, because if this is the only three that exist, then all of that's got to add up to 100%. Let's take out our calculator. There's the calculator. So 100 minus 3.09 minus 4.7, 92.21%. There we go, done with that one. Let's get this mass right there. The mass of the first isotope times its percent abundance. We're going to add that to the mass of the second isotope times its relative or percent abundance, and we're going to add that to the mass of the third isotope times its percent abundance, and all of that, because there's only three isotopes here, that's going to give us the atomic mass, the weighted average found on the periodic table. And you will always have the periodic table available to you unless we're testing you on the periodic table. Let me go grab one. There it is. There's the atomic mass. Let's plug in everything we know. Silicon-28 is right there in green. The mass is 27.98 units. I'm going to slap the units back on at the end of this. Let's turn these percents into decimal form. Move the decimal over twice to the left. You can do that. 0.9221 plus silicon-29. We're looking for the mass. We'll call that X. You can call that M2 if you want. And move that decimal over 2 times. Get rid of that percent sign. 0.0470. Again, you can use your percent function on your calculator. You don't have to move the decimal if you don't want to. Silicon-30 is our third final isotope. Get the mass of that is 29.97. 12. Percent abundance is 0.0309. And all of that is going to equal that number right there on the periodic table is 28.0855. All right, let's simplify. 2580. All right, and this here is just going to be 0.0470x plus. All right, so that's going to be 0.9261. 0.9261. All right, that's that part there. And all of that's going to be 28.0855 units. All right, let's subtract both sides by 25.80 and 0.9261, 28.0855. All right, I'm going to subtract that number in green, 25.8, and I'm going to subtract that number in red, 0.9261. All right, there is what I have left on the right side, 1.3594. And that's going to equal, the only thing we have left on the left side is 0.0470x. Let's isolate x. Boom. Divide by 0.0470. All right, there's our answer, 28.92. All right, so it must be silicon-29 they're asking for.